Okay, my young and the restless fans, we got more drama in today's episode. First, Sally and Lauren bury the hatchet. Everyone is on high alert about Jeremy Stark as they think that the threat is real, and Jeremy demands his money from Diane Jenkins. Welcome back to CBS Soap Dish Recap, where we recap everything CBS Soaps, both the young and the restless, and the bold and the beautiful. This is your Young and the Restless recap for December 8th, and without any further ado, let's talk about what went down in Genoa City today. So we start out over at Society where Sally spots Nick. She almost left, but she instead flirts with him. Now he flirts back, opens the door, they go inside, and Lauren spots them. Now Sally tells Nick that she can get her own table, but Nick says that he's still working through some things where they're concerned, but he could still use the company while he crushes some pancakes. Man, that sounds pretty good. I like pumpkin pancakes myself. Anyway, Michael and Lauren greet them both. They make small talk, and it's kind of awkward as can be, and they go to their own table while Lauren kind of speculates about their relationship. Now, Michael could care less. Now, over at their own table, Sally feels that Lauren's eyes are burrowing into her back. And back at Lauren's table, Michael is thinking about frittatas, while Lauren is still wondering if something is going on with Nick and Sally. Now, Michael starts talking about something on the menu, reminding him of New Orleans and the food. Michael tells his wife that Nick and Sally may be falling in love. Now, Lauren thinks that it's a little fast, but Michael thinks she fell for him in a matter of seconds, and she laughs at that and says it was the opposite. He fell for her in a blink of an eye. Now, back over at Sally and Nick's table, they talk about how Lauren is still staring, but Nick learned not to care about the scrutiny, and she asked if he's read everything that Victor's guys dug up on her, and Nick has. And Sally has been involved in some shady dealings, some of which that Nick doesn't know about, and she's not proud, but she'll tell all if he wants to hear it. And then Summer arrives and sneers at seeing her dad with Sally. Now, Sally gives them a minute and Summer sits with her dad. Nick talks up Sally and says that she's done some stuff she's not proud of. And he reminds his daughter that she's done some nasty things too, and her mom as well, and thinks Sally deserves a shot at redemption just like they were able to get. Now, of course, his Supergirl is not so sure, but he insists that she regrets the way that she behaved toward her. Summer thinks that she's after Nick's money, but Nick says, nope, that's BS. And he offered her a lot before, and Sally turned him down. She won't even take a loan, and Summer finds that very interesting. Now, Sally goes to Lauren's table, and Lauren says that she's sorry about the job. Sally thanked her, and they talk about her plans. Now, Sally got something percolating, and Lauren says Chelsea's not designing for Finmore or Mike Hetty. Now, Sally wonders if she's ready to forgive her and trust her again, and Lauren considers that, and she's not sure because she's done some things in her past that she's not proud of. Now, Michael agrees, and they both said that they both got a second chance, that she should give Sally one too. Now, Sally appreciates that and says that she's not going to go back into designing though. But she thanks Lauren, and once she's gone, Michael says that he loves Lauren. He got a ping from his phone. Victor wants him, and it's important. And Lauren is like, okay, tell Victor I said hello. And he goes, and Sally heads back over to the table with Nick. Summer leaves, and Nick fills Sally in on what he said to Summer. Now, over at the Abbott estate, Jack and Diane talk about the weather at the mansion, and she's all smiles. She's thanking him for letting her stay over. She got up early so nobody in the house would get the wrong impression. Ashley turns up and demanded answers. And Jack grumps about wanting to protect Diane, and she leaves for the office while Ashley rolls her eyes. Now, Jack asks if she had anything to do with Jeremy Stark showing up at their house. She in turn asks if Diane's there just to get into his bed, but he says no, and she didn't have anything to do with him being in town either. Jack goes. Kyle comes in, snaps at his aunt for having something to do with this, and he went in.
You have to have proof before you believe in things. Well, I don't have proof that you and Nikki and Phyllis led this very dangerous man here. I have a feeling that's exactly what happened. My own aunt put my entire family in danger. Is that what you wanted, Ashley? Are you happy with how things turned out?
I am sorry. Honestly, from my heart, I never wanted things to escalate like
Doesn't
this.
matter what you wanted. I don't know what your intentions were, but this current situation is a direct result of your actions.
I was not personally involved in Stark coming.
The three of you have brother with this very thing. Bringing this monster to town to send her into hiding, and on why you want to go toe-to-toe with my mother. But you have put our entire family in jeopardy. Do you not care how this affects Harrison?
Kyle, I love your little boy. Of course I care. I would lay down my own life to protect him.
Let's hope that.
He's not going to be harmed.
You can't be sure of that. Anyone I care about is harmed by Jeremy Stark. I will find out who was behind bringing him here. And if you and Nikki and Phyllis responsible, I will hold all of you accountable.
First, it got messy with Kyle going confronting Jeremy over at the Grand Phoenix, but it didn't help that the Three Stooges, aka the trifecta, got this whole thing started, and even worse, Phyllis sending this man to town and to the Abbott estate. So, of course, we can understand why Kyle is just as angry. Speaking of one of the Three Stooges, over at the Crimson Lights, Victoria and Nikki are talking about Nate working for them and how distracted Nick is about Sally being fired because he's taking it personally. Nikki gasps at seeing Jeremy Stark, the money launderer, and he just got out of prison, is what she tells Victoria. Nikki looks real guilty as Vicky starts to ask what her mom did. Nikki calls it, it's complicated. And Jeremy Stark gazes at them as Nikki suggests that they discuss this elsewhere and they leave. And then we got the other member of the Three Stooges, or the trifecta, Phyllis. Diane finds Phyllis knocking at Jack's door. Diane says he's not there. Now, Phyllis wanted to clear some things up, so she mocks Diane sobbing from yesterday, and Diane is gloating that she spent the night over at Jack's place. Now, Phyllis asked outright if she had sex with Jack. Diane is acting all demure and then admits that she slept in the guest room, and Phyllis asks why. Diane tells her that Jack was concerned about Jeremy Stark's threat. Suddenly, Jeremy Stark gets off the elevator. And he said, Diane, I thought I might find you here. Now, Stark is introduced, and the women said that they are not friends. Now, Diane thinks that she's the one who called him and told him where she was. Now, Phyllis calls it, that's preposterous. Jeremy says, Phyllis' voice does sound familiar, though. And she's like, well, I just got one of those type of voices. She moves to leave, and Diane asks her to stick around, but Phyllis was like, no, I got something to do. I'll talk to you later. Now, Jeremy says, you know what, we got something that we need to talk about. And, of course, with Phyllis refusing to stay, Diane is looking freaked out. So, Jeremy wants to continue their conversation from yesterday, and Diane tried to get him to go. He won't, so she pushes him into Jack's office. Not smart. Now, he tells her to stop playing games, and he heard that she was instrumental in getting him put away. Now, she denied it. and he steps toward her. He doesn't believe her. Now, she warns that she can call security any minute. Now, he said he's not out for revenge. She touches her face. She flings his hand off. He just wants his money. It's all the money he has. And Diane is like, well, I don't have it. And he's like, well, how's that possible? She said, you know what? I used that money to rebuild my life. You left me high and dry. And she kept waiting for the feds to lock her up for the crimes that he forced her to do. And Stark started yelling and says that it was not her money to spend. And then Jack arrives. Now back to the other stooge, Nikki. Over at the Newman office, she's recapping to Vicky everything that happened with Phyllis, telling Stark where he could find Diane. Now Victoria is not a fan of Diane, but she thinks that's a little bit extreme. Now Nikki says that she and Ashley agrees with her, and then Victor arrives, and then he tells the women that he heard Jeremy Stark is in town. Now Victor informed the ladies that Jeremy Stark is dangerous. The threat is real, and he will not be allowed in the Newman building. Now, he wants them to stay away from Phyllis, too. Now, Nikki says, well, we've already separated from her, kind of. And then later, the women go. Michael arrives, and Victor wants him to look into Jeremy Stark. Okay, so there you have it, your Young and the Restless recap for Thursday, December 8th, 2022. Stay tuned for the bold and the beautiful recap also for today. And until the next video, like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you soon. Bye.